Santa's house isn't here.
Oh, no!
Hey, Ricky, where'd you get the ratty old bear? Does it walk you home from school?
Hey, watch it!
There are a lot of ways a Christmas special can be bad. It's usually a combination of factors. There's generic messages about the meaning of Christmas, or it's just there to sell merch, or there's excessive schmaltz.
Could you bring a present for my dad?
Well, what sort of present did you have in mind?
Bring Granddad down from heaven.
But most of them are not bad enough to spend time on. Not when I'd rather be oversharing about the things I like. So if I'm going to get negative on here, it should be for a purpose. And usually that purpose is an object lesson. These are Christmas specials where something went horribly wrong. There could have been good intentions, but the way was lost. Or it could have been built on a lie in the first place. I want to know what happened and why. Which I guess makes me the cynical adult who stole Christmas. Say it with me. Nog. In addition to the holiday, I'm celebrating for another reason, because I had a pretty good October. First, I've officially been doing this channel for 5 years, half a decade, a 20th of a century. I guess I just love talking about cartoon minutia. Second, I guess a lot of you do too, because this channel officially hit 5,000 subscribers. I can't say it enough. Thanks to all of you, and a special welcome to those of you who subbed after the last Peanuts video. All of this has been possible because of your likes, your subscriptions, and your comments. Your support means everything. Now, before we get into it, I want it known that my friends, the beloved Fremily that I've shouted out on here, chose this for me. I could have been bringing you underrated Christmas specials.
Kerplunk.
Kerplooey.
Or ranking animated Scrooges.
If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
But when I put all three options out there, this is what they wanted.
Oh, pack that bottom in tight.
This is why I love you guys. For this one, mere nog isn't going to be enough. Meet me at the bar. We're going to start with The Christmas That Almost Wasn't.
Either the title card is in Italian or we're getting nachos.
Oh, look, they've created their own Thunderdome.
Jonah, can't we get beyond fun?
Not that The Christmas That Almost Wasn't. And as I talk you through it, I ask you to hold all questions until the video comes to a complete stop. The Christmas That Almost Didn't was brought to you by Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater. Yes, the place you went for your 10th birthday. And if this dippy fresh mouse is the Chuck E. Cheese you grew up with, you should know that in those early days, company mascot Charles Entertainment Cheese was still a slightly disreputable rat from the streets of Jersey.
All right, now. Everyone in the audience is going to sing along here. We're going to do this nice and simple.
This was only a couple of years after he gave up the stogies. The whole story is a little convoluted and really falls apart at the end, so I'll keep the summary brief. Chucky and his friend Jasper T. Jowls are taking a sled to the North Pole so Jasper can give Santa his Christmas list.
Jasper, you got the list, right?
Right here in my special place.
And I see some hands up, so let me remind you that questions will be submitted in the order received. Thank you. At Santa's workshop, a middle manager elf named Fortran has an idea to work smarter, not harder.
Remember the last time? He had us all wear roller skates.
Fortran did install the conveyor belt.
Fortran's idea is to fire all the elves and replace them with robots. Chucky and Jasper get to the workshop, chased by an angry windstorm that, despite being made of wind, throws fireballs at them. But Mrs. Claus yells at him, and he goes away.
Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. You know Santa's busy tonight.
But I guess the fireballs kill the robots? But then the robots are okay? But for some reason Christmas still won't?
We'll never be ready for Christmas now.
Until Santa does a magic snot rocket and the robots and the elves suddenly get the idea to work together.
Everything is easier with teamwork. Better, smoother, speedier with teamwork.
So Christmas finally is. And yet, after all that,
I forgot to give him my list.
so Chucky tells him to wish really hard. Which works because Christmas, I guess. So it may not have escaped your attention that none of what you just saw was, animated. Why did I show an animatic instead of the finished cartoon? Haha, charade you are, there is no finished cartoon. The story behind The Christmas That Almost Couldn't is a small part of the much larger story of Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater.
Chuck E. Cheese's, Chuck E. Cheese's, Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater.
And that is part of an even larger story.
Have you played Atari today?
The rise and fall of Atari is way beyond the scope of this video, and has been told and retold in many forms. So here it is, All-Star Superman style. Nolan Bushnell. Atari Company. Major success. Industry crash. Bushnell had created Chuck E. Cheese in 1977 as a place to get Atari's games in front of kids. Worked on me. Another of Bushnell's projects was an animation studio called Cadabroscope that was developing software for computer-aided animation. The idea was that artists would draw keyframes and the computer would fill in the in-betweens. Yes, it was basically Flash 20 years early. The plan was for The Christmas That Almost Needn't to play in Chuck E. Cheese restaurants with the VHS available for purchase, and then to air on NBC the following Christmas. The problem was that each 640 by 480 frame took a week to render. I'm not going to go through all the math here, but to render a 26-minute video at 7 days per frame, that works out to over 359 years. So it never would have been ready for Christmas '83. But all that was rendered moot by the industry crash. In an attempt to get some return on their investment, the Oops All Keyframes version was made available at Chuck E. Cheese restaurants in 1983, and not seen again until the rise of the internet. They had it at that counter where you trade your skee-ball tickets for a Chuck E. Cheese Frisbee. Still, things worked out okay for Cadabroscope, which was sold to Lucasfilm, where it became part of the computer animation development project that eventually became Pixar. Only 42 years later, Chuck E. Cheese has released a new Christmas special that dropped right before this video. It'll be interesting to compare. And a special thanks to those dedicated keepers of Chuck E. Cheese history and lore, especially at the Chuck E. Cheese Wiki and at showbizpizza.com. So here's to you. I didn't even know there was Chuck E. Cheese history and lore. Okay, all the stuff I said earlier about the run-of-the-mill ways a Christmas special can be bad, I bring up A Cranberry Christmas because it's bad in all of those ways at once. And once again, you're going to have questions, but a lot of them can be explained by the fact that this was sponsored by Ocean Spray.
The others just don't compare to the taste people crave. Crave the wing.
It's based on a children's book from 1976. In the book, Christmas is coming in Cranberry Port, and old Mr. Whiskers' pond should be covered with skaters. But mean old Cyrus Grape, we'll come back to that name, hates children and baselessly asserts that it's his pond. Mr. Whiskers, who shows several signs of ADHD, can't find the deed to prove that it's his property, and begins to let Grape's gaslighting affect him. To add to his anxiety, Mr. Whiskers' Persnickety sister is coming, and has told him that because his house is always messy, she plans to take him to live with her in the city. Because his house is messy. So his neighbor Maggie and her grandmother offer to help him clean the house, because that's just how neighbors are in Cranberry Port. As they're cleaning, he discovers potentially dangerous structural issues that reveal a box with the deed in it. So Mr. Whiskers is able to prove it's his pond, the kids are able to skate again, and Mr. Whiskers' Persnickety sister witnesses a clean house and he keeps his freedom. And on the last page is a recipe for Granny's cranberry cookies. That's the book. It's a charming little story. The cartoon adds a few elements, like narration and songs by Barry Manilow.
Christmas is just around the corner.
There's also a score that I think Danny Elfman's lawyers need to hear. The pond becomes a cranberry bog, the better to open on lingering shots of berries being cranned. Another addition is that Cyrus Grape goes from narcissistic dick to an active danger to public safety. He has no claim to the bog.
Of course, if Whiskers were unable to locate his deed, then he could not claim the pond as his own. Yes!
He invades Mr. Whiskers' privacy. And at one point, he breaks into Mr. Whiskers' house as Manilow drops what is basically "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch" with different notes.
Watch out for Mr. Grape when he comes onto the scene.
Except instead of playing pool with ornaments and stealing the hoo hash, he just does thousands of dollars of damage to Mr. Whiskers' house. Seriously, this is not funny cartoon antics, this is genuinely harmful behavior. They go out of their way to make this character too grotesque, too loathsome to be funny. And then I thought about that name, Cyrus Grape, and I realized this is not just a commercial for Ocean Spray, this is an attack ad against their rivals in the fruit juice space.
Purple is the color of things that are very special.
You have the generic messaging.
The city.
You have the schmaltz.
Mr. Grape, it's Christmas. You should be having fun.
You're inviting me to skate with you?
And thanks to Ocean Spray's sponsorship, it aired commercial-free.
From all of us at Ocean Spray.
It is one of our favorite stories.
Another way to put that is that Ocean Spray bought airtime, meaning this is an infomercial. It's an ad for the very concept of cranberry juice and not grape juice.
Purple things taste special.
Based on the shamelessness of the special, I had initially assumed that the book was also an Ocean Spray product. Surprisingly not. Wendy and Harry Devlin were talented and prolific artists who had already published several successful children's books when they released A Cranberry Christmas in 1976. They put out several more books in the Cranberry Port saga, including, and these are real, Cranberry Halloween, Cranberry Mystery, Cranberry Trip to the Dentist, and Cranberry Summer. Again, the books are charming and low-key. Cyrus Grape is your run-of-the-mill miser stereotype, not a Dateline NBC waiting to happen. And each one has a cranberry-based recipe. If cranberry-themed holiday hijinks are what you crave, skip the cartoon and find the books. I might also try this Cranberry Christmas.
I want this cranberry lane and she wants that one.
But you also want each other.
Maybe this is destiny's way of pushing you two back together. Where did you hang that mistletoe I gave you?
You gotta find it.
This is the legend. This is the room of Christmas cartoon specials.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa aired in syndication on WB affiliates throughout December 2002. The story behind this special is the story of a director who dared to ask, to be able to afford top voice talent, how cheap would I have to make the animation? And the answer was, this much cheap.
Oh, come on, Smithy, please. It's for Ricky. Help us find it.
Santa made a terrible mistake. He sent this present to the wrong house. So I ran over here as fast as I could.
Nothing's too good for my princess. And I've got the credit card bills to prove it.
You just wait. Your time will come and I'll be right there to get you.
Yeah, Smithy. All the sandwiches in the world won't make you skate faster next time.
Christmas. Oh.
I know, we'll come back to that. Like all the kids at Rapsittie Street School, Ricky is excited for Christmas.
I'm a decorating master, the one is faster. Don't you know I'm a Christmas tree blaster?
Yeah, sometimes Ricky raps, but a lot of the time it's hard to tell if he's rapping or not until he finishes talking.
You might be smart with books, but you sure are stupid. I give you a real gift, and you don't get it.
Ricky gives his favorite teddy bear to the girl he likes.
This is from the heart.
But she only wants presents from one place.
Does Santa shop at the mall? Cheap is not cool, Lene. Now my gift's the best. It came from the mall. All of my presents come from the mall.
She's a bit single-minded.
Of course. It's sold in the malls, so I know they spent lots of money.
So she yells at him.
Are you purposely trying to embarrass me? I can't even exchange this nasty old thing.
And she throws it away. Later, Ricky writes a letter to Santa.
Dear Santa, please send me a video box.
And I assume Christmas magic is what makes this happen.
I wonder what that letter is doing out there.
I gave her my special bear that Mama gave me before the angels took her.
Oh no, Ricky. What have I done?
To fill the running time, there's a hijink or two with some bullies.
Ah! Yes! I saved you again, my friend!
Both Paige O'Hara and Jodie Benson sing.
Look at me, look and you'll see the best kid in the world.
As one would hope when you have both Belle and Ariel.
And if we all believed in Santa, there will always be a Santa.
And eventually Nicole finds the bear.
There it is! I'm so sorry.
Nicole, this was a gift for you.
But doesn't it mean a lot to you?
Yes, and so does friendship.
And because she gets more Christmas presents than she knows what to do with.
Oh, our princess has my good looks and your spending habits.
She gives Ricky the video box, which I assume is a video game, but it just looks like the DVR you get from the cable company.
Belief in Santa is where we start, but what matters is what's in our heart. If you want to know what you can trust, it's that Santa believes in us.
And during the credits comes this ominous portent of unspeakable terrors to come.
My name's Jenna, and I'll be back with the Easter bunnies.
The one thing I can honestly say that Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa has over the other specials is that at least it's not a commercial. And once again, I have to salute this article on Polygon. I'm giving the short version here. You should check out the full story because it's both absurd and heartbreaking. Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa was born out of a desire to produce a charming, family-friendly Christmas special in the tradition of a Charlie Brown Christmas, and to find an economical way to produce animation for television without having to outsource to overseas studios. And to tell this special requires, nay demands, a presentation that is equally special. I hope you enjoy this groundbreaking animated reenactment. The story and songs came from James DeLuca, a Long Island musician, and his investor, his friend Chris Rose. They found their way to producer Colin Slater, who thought he had found a way to produce animation at a fraction of the cost of other studios. Now, it's a poor craftsman who blames his tools, unless this is the tool. 3D Choreographer was a program released in 1994 for creating simple animations from templates for use in PowerPoint presentations. And as you may have guessed, it's what I've used to create these animations. It's a great program if you don't care how your animation looks. And even though 3D Choreographer wouldn't pass muster in a Dire Straits video, it was cheap enough that Slater could hire the voice talent he wanted. And it could render 5 minutes of finished animation in just 20 minutes. Sorry, Cadabroscope. DeLuca and Rose had concerns the whole time, even though Rose ponied up another $200K to get the Easter special started. But they still didn't realize what a fiasco this had become until the special aired in December.
Christmas.
The quality of the animation isn't the only problem. The script is a waste of a good cast. It's one thing to get both Belle and Ariel. It's another thing to give them sugar plum dialogue like this.
Ricky, who gave you that candle? Oh, that is a really mean thing to say. Why? Do you see anything else?
There's been some speculation about Deborah Wilson's performance as Ricky's great-grandma.
You just got it.
To be clear, that's her doing that. There's been speculation that it's an effect or a tape glitch, but show Deborah Wilson some respect. She's a pro. It's not a great gag, but she made it work. Slater produced another cartoon with 3D Choreographer, Dinosaur Island. At least they had gotten better at working with it. Rose and DeLuca are still friends, but DeLuca admits to still feeling guilty about what happened to his friend's money. Unlike the crassness of Cranberry Christmas, it's hard to actually dislike this one, despite its many, many, many faults.
I've got the most beautiful wife and daughter. And of course, they have the most handsome husband and father.
Like the films of Ed Wood, there's something sincere at the heart of Rapsittie Street Kids' Believe in Santa that makes it worth watching again and again.
I never stopped believing in Santa. And you don't have to stop either.
We did it! We got through 3 of the worst Christmas specials I could find. Believe me, there are more I could get into, but I need some time.
Why don't we see if Charlie Mansonstone wants to come for New Year's?
The best part is, now that I have the worst of them out of the way, I can move on to the stuff that's enjoyable because of how weird it is.
Did you come for Christmas?
Christmas?
Then up the hierarchy. From the underrated, to the actually pretty good, to the actually really good, until I reach those 3 at the top. So thanks again for another tinsel year. I'm looking forward to a great 2026. And to the Fremily, and you know who you are, I love you and I couldn't do this without you. And most of all, Mowrer, my brother in weirdness for over 30 years.
Hey cats and kittens, welcome to the Groovy Movie Geek Show.
You've seen him before on this channel.
We're gonna jump ship and join the Alliance. Join the rebellion, are you kidding?
He's been there for a lot of important moments. How did you come up with your treatment of Snoopy's voice?
Thank you so much for your time, Melanie. We really appreciate it.
Mowrer and his wife Angie have been basically family my whole adult life. When I make a reference that makes no sense whatsoever. And finally baked at 450 for 4 hours. By Dolly Madison. It's usually directed at him. Too bad the parsley's not orange, huh? So to him, to everybody else, and to you, keep watching cartoons, and happy holidays.
Shut that door!
Cranberries.